the cover. Can he do it? Kick out at two. Just sweet.
Ladies and gentlemen, as always, welcome to the Curtain Call podcast. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If you're listening on Spotify, thank you so much. If you're watching on YouTube, please consider dropping a subscribe, liking the video. It really helps us out. Today, we're going to be going over This Week in Wrestling. We're going to be going over our Raw preview that happened last night. We're going to be covering NXT tonight, and also AEW's debut on TBS tomorrow night. So like I said, this is being recorded Tuesday around lunchtime. So NXT hasn't happened yet. AEW hasn't happened yet, but we're gonna hype it up to see, what could happen this week. But yeah, why don't we start off on Raw last night? JR, why don't you just kick us off, man?
All right, so we start off Raw, and what a shocker. We've been talking on this show about what do they do with the storyline with Paul Heyman. It didn't make sense for them to do what they were doing. We went back and forth, Jordan. We talked about it, man. But you know what? I'm okay with this.
I'm totally fine with it.
You start off the show, all the lights are out. People are wondering, are we going to hear the start of the music of the Beast of Brock Lesnar? When them lights come back on and I saw Paul Heyman, I popped.
Yeah.
So hard to see Paul Heyman. And just to hear him say, my name is Paul Heyman, and I am the advocate for my client. Man, South Carolina popped. It was going nuts for Brock. And I'm okay with it.
They're destined to always be paired together.
Yeah, absolutely. I posted on TikTok when they were walking out of the ramp that they had like kind of their arms with each other reunited, and it feels so good. It really felt good, and I'm okay with what they're going with that. But it's set up for the evening where they had the main event, which was the fatal four-way that we thought we were going to have on Sunday, which was the Bobby, the KO, Biggie, and Seth Rollins. Yeah. And hey, I know you were happy. Bobby Lashley is going on to the Royal Rumble against Brock Lesnar for that title. Yeah. What was going? I need to know what was going through your mind, because I know I was going nuts. I could only imagine what you were doing at that moment.
Yeah, so I was ecstatic. Believe me, if you watched our last episode, you saw my live reaction to the stare down that they had. But the fact that he actually won and they're actually doing it, I was losing my mind just like the other night, probably a little more so. The only gripe I have, is it's not the main event of WrestleMania. But I think that's just a personal wish that I want. Either way, I'm finally getting the match, and I can't, I'm not trying to put that down because I've been asking for so long. But I am extremely happy to see where this goes. And it's going to be a good match. It has to be a good match.
So do you want me to spoil it for you now?
Go ahead.
So you know what's going to happen at the Rumble, right?
Yeah.
Bobby's going to win the belt because Roman's going to interfere and cost Brock the belt. So we already know we're going to get Brock and Roman at WrestleMania. But I'm still excited for this match. I want to see it. You can see Bobby's real reaction came out last night.
Yeah.
Because this is something that he's wanted too. It was just this excitement feeling. The crowd was going nuts. It was like, and it made me think, do you think that Bobby was supposed to win the belt Sunday if Brock wasn't in it?
That ran through my head when I finally shut off Raw last night. I was looking back the past few days, and I think so. I really think so. I think he was supposed to win on Sunday.
Because I saw that, and right when it happened, when he wins, the same way. I'm turning on. You get done doing something, and as you're about to do whatever it is that you're about to do next, your mind starts wandering around and stuff. And I got done with wrestling. I was checking on my Browns, and I clicked that off real quick. And as I'm going to my room, I'm thinking, I'm like, man, I think Bobby was probably going to win the belt on Sunday.
Yeah.
But this is exciting, man. This is exciting. And how excited were you when they showed Brock at the end of that match in the back segment?
I can't even put into words anymore about this match. Like I said, when we do our Royal Rumble predictions and all that, I'm going to go in on this because there's no way this cannot live up to the hype.
Absolutely. When he looking at that screen and he has that look on, okay, it's going to be Bobby. And then when he says, tell my buddy Roman I'll see him Friday, it makes – I told you Raw's rating was going to be big.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you SmackDown's rating is going to take a spike. Why? Because Brock is going to be there, man. This is really good. This is really good. Yeah. We also had – it looks like it's going to be Bianca Belair versus Liv Morgan to see who's going to battle Becky Lynch. Do you think they'll go the one-on-one route, or do you think this ends up being a triple threat match at the Rumble?
I think this is going to be a triple threat. I do. I don't know. Is it just me, or do they seem to love triple threat matches with women's wrestlers? Is it just me? Seems to be a lot of them over the last few years. A lot of them. I think this goes triple threat. And like you put Bianca Belair on top 5 wrestlers of last year. She's obviously extremely talented and gifted and all that. This should be okay for what it is. I don't know where they're going to go from here with this whole story, but I think this is going to be pretty entertaining. At least entertaining.
Yeah, it'll be entertaining. I don't know where they're going to go with it neither, because to tell you the truth, if they have plans on taking the belt off of Becky Lynch before Mania, so does that mean Becky finds a way to get over on SmackDown and battle Charlotte? I still don't know where they're going with this. I didn't know where they were going with this when we were giving our show about the predictions that we were having for day one, and I don't know where they're going with this now. It's kind of confusing, but I know it's going to be entertaining, like you said. It's definitely going to be entertaining.
Yeah. Yep.
We also had, to me, I don't know how you felt about it, Damian Priest and Dolph Ziggler. Wow. It was a really solid match.
Yeah.
There was a moment there. There was a moment. I thought we were going to have a new United States champion, but Damian Priest comes away with the win. How'd you feel that match went down?
Oh, phenomenal. I thought it was a great match. Great match. And people, I'm going to steal Roman's catchphrase. People need to acknowledge Dolph Ziggler. Like, everybody knows he's a good seller. Yes, and that's 100% true. But the man is just a great worker in general, overall. Yes, he can sell, but his offense is always great. He knows how to perform moves. He knows he has a very good move set in general. People, I hope Dolph Ziggler gets his roses while he's still around. You know what I mean? Because he is just – there's a reason he's been with the company so long. And the guy started off in the Spirit Squad, man. And he's as big and respected, hopefully, as he is now. He's just – and that's not to take anything from Damian Priest either, because I love him. I'm not saying it's all Ziggler. I think they worked really well together, but I just had to get that shout out to Dolph out of the way, because he's something else, man.
Dolph is one of those wrestlers that when you're talking about great wrestlers, he's up there, man. He goes out there and he does what's asked of him to do. And there's only one thing that I took away from that match that I was like, and it wasn't even Damian Priest and Dolph Ziggler. It was, I wish they would do something with Bobby Roode. I see Bobby Roode in outside of the ring, because Bobby Roode is so great. I don't know if Vince think he's a little too old or whatever, but that Dolph Ziggler and Damian Priest match was very, very well. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with Damian Priest, because he's kind of wiped out the competition. Yeah. We'll see what goes from there. Real quickly, we also had where they're giving vignettes of Alexa Bliss,
the hometown girl.
What kind of Alexa are we going to get when she comes back to Monday Night Raw?
I don't know, because they definitely can't do the whole Bray Wyatt thing. That they can't do that. That's pretty much dead in the water. Yeah. Does she come back as the
Harley Quinn style?
I was thinking that. Yeah, I was thinking Harley Quinn, maybe the psychotic. I don't know. It's tough. Or do we get something out of left field and they try something brand new? I mean, but they also were doing something brand new with the whole Bray Wyatt stuff, and that ended kind of abruptly. So are they going to want to risk doing something new again, having it fall flat again to waste even more of her time? Or are they going to go back to what they know will work and that she'll get over with? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Either way, like I said, she's from around our area, so I'm all on her side all the time, and I hope they can do something with her because I'm a fan.
Absolutely. I also think it's going to bring a breath of fresh air to that women's division on Raw that it's kind of felt like we've been getting the same kind of matches over and over. That's how I take them. I mean, I'm excited for her to come back. I don't know what they're doing with her, but I know that she's going to make it work. Whatever she does, she's going to do.
Yeah.
We also had tonight, NXT. There's matches in particular that I know you and I are very well invested in. Number one, your boy, El General, the General, is coming back with Imperium to be able to go against MSK and Matt Riddle, who just had a match on Raw defending those tag titles. This is going to be somebody's going to get chopped tonight. Yeah. How do you think this match is going to go? Are you excited to see your boy back in NXT?
Yeah, always excited to see Walter. Always. This one's going to be good. I think my excitement for him being back is going to, even if the match is crap, I think I'm still going to like just seeing him again just because I'm a massive fan. And maybe this is the early signs of him being in the States more, maybe finally getting the main roster push or something, Royal Rumble, maybe, or something like that. But yeah, I'm excited to see him as always. And like I said, hopefully this opens the door for him because I don't know how he's feeling lately about working in the States. But before we heard that he didn't want to. Maybe this will start, kicking it off to where he can work in the States more.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to see what he does tonight. It's going to be good. I want to see his physique, man. He's been showing pictures where he's changed his body up a lot. And I think that's all by design. I think that Vince wants to see big guys, but he wants to see fit guys. And Walter it looks like from all the pictures that I've seen thus far on the internet, he's definitely done his part. Yeah. He's doing his part to be able to get that main roster push. I think we could see him in the Rumble. I think something special is going to happen with Walter, but I'm excited for that one. We also have the main event. Is it going to be time for Tommaso Ciampa to lose that strap to Bron Breakker? Is it Bron Breakker's moment? Is Tommaso going to hold on to it? What do you think?
Oh, boy. This one's tough because this one goes back to a few weeks ago when we said, please take your time with Breakker. And now here he is in the title match again. I still think
second title match.
Yeah. I still think it's too soon for Breakker to hold the strap. I really do. But do you risk missing that sweet spot of Bron Breakker that he's getting huge? People love him, man. People really love him. But if he doesn't get it on this show, do you think they're going to miss that pop, miss that moment? Do you think that if he doesn't pick it up in this next show, do you think it's too little too late as far as him? Not him getting the title, but do you think they can extend it any farther after this one?
You know what? I never thought of it like that until you just said that now, and it made me realize I think you're right. It might be too little too late I don't think they should put the title on him now. But now that he's in this position, you got to put the title on him because the crowd the fans are going to be like, dude, what the heck? Why? Why do we keep cheering for this guy every time he makes it up there? He's big. It's not like he's a smaller guy, a Rey Mysterio, Santino Marella, or something like that, where you could still get behind this person, a Liv Morgan. You can still get behind this person in their quest to become champion. This is a big dude, bigger than Tommaso Ciampa. He's already lost to him once in a title match from a botch of the ropes. He wins the War Games. You put him right back in the title picture. You got to pull the trigger now. You got to strike when the iron's hot. I still think it's a little too soon, but you're absolutely right. I never thought of that the way you just said it. It might be too late if they don't give him the belt tonight, which it kind of pulls me over to that side where I think we're going to have a new NXT heavyweight champion tonight. Before we get into Dynamite, I need to ask you something. How did you feel last night about the AJ Styles and Omos match? You know AJ's going to be at NXT tonight. I was kind of hoping that Grayson would have showed up on Raw and kind of interfered and had AJ lose. But the way AJ lost, I know they're putting Omos over, but man, not like that. Not AJ, man. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think this might be I'm going to answer your question with the question, because do you think that AJ is going to be on NXT more? And do you think that this might be not taking him off TV by getting beat down, but more of like, okay, hey, you're going to be doing your thing on NXT for a little while, do the job to help push this guy, but then you're going to be, I don't know. I really don't know. I didn't like the match. Let me get that out of the way. Didn't like how it was booked, anything like that. But do you think that's because he's going to be spending more time on NXT?
Well, it's tough to say that because, or tough for me to even want to believe that, because if I'm not mistaken, he has 2 more years left on his contract. Signed a 4-year deal going into 2022, 23, and 24. So he has 2 more years left on his contract. That being said, is he wanting to not do as much and maybe kind of not travel as much, prefer to go to NXT and be down there? But if that's the case, man, I couldn't see AJ Styles being anything else but champion down there. And then you're taking him out the Rumble?
Yeah. But how about this?
I don't know, man. I don't even want to.
How about this?
I know the day's going to come where AJ leaves WWE because his contract will be over. Would he go somewhere else? He says he won't. But at the end of the day, we know that money talks. But he says he won't. But, man, I really don't even want to think about AJ leaving WWE.
Why don't we do this? Let's just we'll come back next week or whenever they start, whenever there's a clear path for AJ, and we'll discuss it. Lastly, before we move on to Dynamite, 2024, AJ, Kenny, 1 match, that's it. All right, let's move on to AEW.
Where do you do it at? Do you do it in AEW ring or do you do it in New Japan?
Tokyo Dome. You got to do it. Then AJ can call it quits after that.
So real quick, because since you brought up fantasy booking, you can't do that to me because I love fantasy booking. So if we get AJ and we get Kenny Omega, do we make it a lumberjack match and put all the former members of the Bullet Club around the ring?
Could be. That would be a good story to tell.
And do you know who interferes in that match and leaves everybody laid out?
In 2 years, you're going to book that? Let's hear it.
Finn Balor.
Oh, Prince Death comes back. That would be that. That's like a fantasy booker's wet dream right there, man. That's we'll see. I guess we'll see.
Hey, talk to me about Dynamite, man. It's going on TBS. Are you excited about this?
I mean, whenever anybody moves channels, it's obviously weird to get used to it first because you're so used to the show being on one. I don't know. I'm not happy. I'm not excited, but I'm not excited. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be. They introduced a new title for for being on TBS and all that, but as long as the product doesn't change, I could care less where they're going to show the show. It gave me a little nostalgia, and I'll tell you why. Because when I was younger, obviously NWA and WCW was on TBS 605 on Saturday. So to be able to go back to TBS, I thought that was pretty cool. It's not doing much for me. There is an issue that I have, though. As much as people talked bad about WWE's wrestling belts, AEW is doing a horrific job with their titles as well. Their women's title looks like a watch. Yeah. And now they got a TNT title and a TBS title. And yes, I understand that WWE has a 24/7 title. But that 24/7 title is not a wrestling title, ladies and gentlemen. That is a title to make you and I laugh when we're watching wrestling on Monday or Wednesday or whenever it is that they decide to have these guys run across the arena to make people laugh. It's not a legitimate title.
But when you look at prestigious titles and you're trying to make your company have prestigious titles, make them look a little bit more prestigious. It's weird because Cody Rhodes is always talking about the past. He's always talking about the lineage of wrestling. Go back and start a television championship then again.
Yeah.
And do these things and not take the easy way out and make TNT happy and TBS happy by naming a title after, because your title is actually called the Turner Broadcast Station or the Turner Broadcast Network. That ain't cool, man. To me, it ain't. I don't know how you feel about that, about their title situation. I don't care if they go to TBS or TNT. I thought it was a little bit of nostalgia. I hope, like you said, I hope that they don't change the product and the product continues being what it is that we enjoy watching. But, man, their title situation, man, something's got to happen.
Now, the titles nowadays overall are garbage. Garbage. They're not nearly as cool as they used to be. But before we wrap things up, you brought up titles. What do you think? Just a quick side note. What do you think of New Japan's titles?
I think New Japan's title probably, in my opinion, right now. You see, it's kind of hard because people that don't watch New Japan are going to totally disagree. I think they're the two most prestigious titles, their Intercontinental title and their Heavyweight title. I think that those are the two most prestigious titles in wrestling. Now, for the fan that does not watch New Japan and all they do is watch stateside wrestling, I would have to say that the most prestigious titles is the 10 pound of gold in the NWA. It has to be. After that, it's hard. I would dare to even put the IC title up there before I put one of the other titles up there. And it's because, but it's not shown much. You saw that we just had a pay-per-view and Shinsuke wasn't even on it. Yeah. So, you know, you're right. Titles don't mean anything like they would mean back in New Japan. But to me, overall, New Japan's titles are the most prestigious stateside. It has to be the 10 pounds of gold, the NWA heavyweight title.
1,000%. I'm 100% in agreement with you. New Japan, I've always loved their titles, and they mean something over there. So yeah, I'm 100% with you. But this has been This Week in Wrestling. We covered Monday Night Raw, where they're going with Bobby, Brock, all the above. Covered NXT tonight, and obviously AEW's new year, new channel. So yeah, let us know what you thought down below. Let us know what you're looking forward to in upcoming wrestling. All the above. What do we got? We got Wrestle Kingdom. When is that? Tonight, Wrestle Kingdom tonight. So maybe if you guys want us to do a review of that show, definitely let us know, because I don't know about you, but I'm always keeping up with New Japan and watching New Japan as well. So if you guys want a Wrestle Kingdom review, let us know, because I'd be happy to do that. I'm assuming it's going to be a great show, like mainly New Japan shows are. So it should be good. Like I said, thank you for listening, watching along. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, and Too Sweet as always. And JR, take it out.
And you have just got done listening to the best tag team in all of podcasts. That's Irish Knee. I'm the Spanish Fly, and we always kick out at 2.
Peace.